Sonicast getting underway. You got your girl Son in the building.
What's poppin'? Your player partner G Biz.
And I'm going to let y'all pronounce your names. I know John Cho. Welcome, baby. I appreciate
thank
you.
you so much. Thanks for having us.
We also have director from the movie Searching in the building.
Yeah, Aneesh Chaganty.
Okay, and then also co-writer and producer.
Sev Ohanian.
See, they said it better than I could have.
Ohanian. I like how you didn't even take the shot because I was like, I didn't want him to, because my man came up and was like, oh yeah, you can say it however you want to. I'm
There's
like, look,
no wrong way.
You can go ahead and handle your business. It's good. It's good. I like that.
Yeah, because you came over and you were like, no, that's wrong. It's
right.
say it again.
It's Chaganty. The
Chaganty.
last name.
Chaganty.
But Aneesh is, you just call it Aneesh.
Okay, Aneesh works too.
Just niche?
Aneesh.
Oh,
No,
Aneesh.
not niche.
All right.
We know her. She crazy from Hunters Point.
We
don't
do
want
know.
to. We don't want to coordinate.
Shout
those two.
out to Pretty Niche. Right.
Shout out to Pretty Niche. True story, real quick, just to break the ice. This girl used to work for KMEL, and she tried to stab another intern with a plastic fork inside the studio.
I'm gonna go there.
True story. There was no bloodshed. It was fine.
Basically saying you gotta stay away from all the plastic forks here. No, none of that.
Yeah, not her.
No plastic forks for you, Niche. So, John, let's start with you, since you're over here on the left.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Star Trek history, Harold and Kumar history.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? This is a
do.
different type of role for you.
Yeah, it is. I think I was a little insulted when I first got the script. I was like,
What?
I'm not old enough to play dad. Wait, I am.
Unfortunately,
a teenage girl.
yeah.
yeah.
Unfortunately, you're fine.
But the script was amazing. I just was able to get into it right away. I have two children of my own, and so all those feelings were right there. I should say that the plot of the movie is it's a very suspenseful thriller about a girl who goes missing, a teenage girl who goes missing, and I play her father. And in order to find out where she might be, I break into her computer to look for clues, because that's where all
where we're
our
at.
lives are, nowadays. And the movie takes place as a result, all on screens that we use, phones, tablets, and computers.
So you're following her
Digital
through her social
footprint.
media platforms and whatnot?
Yeah, the movie, 20 years ago would have been me just going around to her school
Asking
with a little picture going,
Right.
have you seen
Looking
her?
for clues.
Yeah.
But that's not realistic.
Right.
Today, if you want to know where somebody's been, who they are, what they've been doing, you go into their devices. And
Yeah.
so that's what it was. It was like an opportunity for me to dramatize how we're living today. And so to do that, Aneesh and Sev took us into the computer.
How old are your children, John?
5 and 10.
When do you plan on letting them have cell phones?
Uh,
After making this movie and being, maybe a little bit brought to a scary point to what if my child does go missing and, you don't
Yeah.
have any way of contacting them?
Yeah.
Not that they can't lose their phone, but...
yeah,
Have you made that
I may
choice?
have to roll it back.
Okay, so the 10-year-old doesn't have one, because I
No,
know
not yet.
8, 6, 7, you know what I'm saying, that have them already, and I'm like, God.
I
But
know
they might
it's
be
interesting
latching-
because you do want to get in contact with them,
Right.
If I could give them a flip phone, that would be cool.
Trying to grab a burner.
The
Yeah, I got
one
you.
shaped like a mouse. It's
Yeah.
like 911 and home.
Right.
Take that to school.
Little go
Or
phone.
maybe a beeper, like a little
Oh, okay. There you go. Ring it.
page me. But I don't know. So I
it's
don't know
major.
when kids get phones these days, but I'm a little scared to do it.
Yeah.
When do you think I should do it?
You know what? I haven't made that decision yet. My daughter's 8.
8.
And she's already begging me for one, although she had an accident yesterday and busted the hell out of her iPod.
Oh no.
I was trying to woosah it through that thing because I just bought it. But
That's a good excuse for you to be like, no, not going for 5 more years, Like,
right, you're right, Aneesh. And I told her that, and you got to wait till teenage years. So I exaggerate like all parents do. You're not getting it till you're 45.
Right.
But obviously because she's an only child, and at some point,
Do you think that there should be like a device? Because I've often thought they should make super simple smartphones for old people. But do they have super simple smartphones?
Yeah, they do.
for
There's
kids?
a lot of people who talk about. I mean, digital mindfulness. I think is going to be the next big sort
Absolutely.
of thing that we all care about. I feel like, especially us, we are so conscious of the fact that we're all looking at our phones and all that stuff. That I feel like the way
Constantly.
we're going to raise our kids is going to be very mindful about their digital behavior. And I think
Yeah.
you'll start to see literally hardware and software reflect that.
Right.
It's a nerdy segue.
it's a
but
very scary time too.
No,
People
yeah.
stop looking at each other in the eye and having real conversations. It's kind of sad.
I mean,
and I don't want that for my daughter either. But the safety issue is a big thing. So, to be able to contact her and stuff, probably 12.
Yeah, I mean, and our movie is, kind of reflects that fear. And I would say that it used to be that we used to tell our kids, watch out for that creep at the park.
Right.
But now
They're creeping
every
on
creep
internet.
in the park, every creep in every park in the world has access theoretically to your daughter via her cell phone.
Right.
And so it's scary, and but that's reality. But it's also, the movie isn't necessarily like this, slamming technology. My character also is able to find out things via technology that, like I say, back in the day, never could have done, going around with the crumpled up photograph. So it is sort of the means by which she goes missing, but it's also the means by which he's trying to find her.
Right.
Yeah. Now, Sev, when you were sitting down actually writing this, is that something that you took into account when coming up with the script? Because this is very new as it relates to drama thrillers, right?
Yeah,
adding
totally.
this technological angle to it. Like, what kind of came up with the concept? How did that even come together?
It's kind of a backward story. So Aneesh and I wrote the script together, and we had it was actually an opportunity that was presented to us by a production company. The same company that had made this movie called Unfriended, if you guys ever saw that.
I've seen
also
that.
on computer screens.
Yep.
And Aneesh and I have been working together. He directs, I produce, we write together, and we've done some really cool stuff that, used, computers and short form content, and we had pitched the idea of Searching as an 8-minute short film. Because we weren't really looking to make a whole movie on a
we
computer
did not
screen.
want to make. I was just like, mark my words, we'll never make a feature film on a computer screen ever.
Why would
Cut
you think
to.
that?
Yeah.
So basically, so what happened was like a dream come true for filmmakers, because they brought us into their conference room. It was an 8-minute short film, but there was all these execs, all these financiers. It was super serious. I think everyone was wearing a suit except for us. And basically, they say to us hey guys, we like the short, but we don't want to make it. So we were kind of bummed. And they're like, we'd rather make it as a whole movie. Sev, you'll produce it. Aneesh, you'll direct your first movie ever. We'll pay you guys to write the script, and we'll finance the whole thing. What do you guys say?
And it was one of the weirdest moments
Hell
ever.
yeah.
Yeah.
You would think, right?
Yeah.
Well, Aneesh, what did you say?
I immediately said no. And
Aw.
Sev just starts
Really?
kicking me underneath the table and being like, "What are you doing right now?
I was
You're
like, dude,
throwing
I
away
just
your
brought this
entire
guy to
career."
this room, and he says no. So I was like, he means no way.
Yeah,
no
way.
problem.
Yes. Finish the thought.
Good save, Sev.
Finish the thought. No, it felt like in the moment, to answer your question of why, is it felt like we had found a way for in 8 minutes to make this story not be a gimmick. And what it felt like in that room was that we were being asked to stretch it right back into a 90-minute gimmick again, because this movie has so much potential to be a gimmick. It's just takes place on screens. That sounds like just a cool idea, but the story probably isn't there. And that's exactly what we thought. Their story wouldn't be there.
Right.
So we left the room being like, there's no story that could make it feel like the story came first, and the way that we're telling it is just supporting that, and that's the way a good movie gets made. Is the story has to come first. So we kept talking about it, couldn't figure a way into the whole story, and then a couple months go by, and one day I text Sev being like, "Hey, I have a weird idea for an opening scene," and he texts me back saying, "I have a weird idea for an opening scene," and we get on the phone with each other, pitch the exact same opening scene, and to this day, that's now the opening scene of the film.
Right.
Cute.
Yeah, it's super cute.
You're in touch.
Yeah, and
Right.
You're in
We
sync.
even finish each other's
thoughts.
I was gonna say sentences,
Yeah,
but
I know.
Close.
I don't
Close
really
enough.
finish your thoughts. But yeah,
It's a soundproof room.
Yeah, right.
I don't know. Something's blocking.
We're close to
Blocking
each
the
other's,
ESP.
finishing each other's sentences. In that moment, it felt like all of a sudden we had an idea, which is the plot of the movie now, that was not only cinematic and engaging and thrilling and emotional, which is something that it felt like no movie that took place on screens ever was before. But more than that, hopefully would make an audience forget that what they were watching was on a computer screen.
Yeah.
And that to us is a goal. If you make a movie that takes place is all found footage or all concept driven, your story better be damn good to
Right.
support that. Otherwise, it's going to get boring. It needs to evolve. It needs to be thrilling, and that's sort of what we came up with. We pitched it back to them. They were like, "Let's do it." I quit my job at Google. I was working at Google at the time in New York, and I moved to LA, and we made a movie.
You're a beast. That's a
Wow.
big job to give up.
Yeah,
But you got to follow your dreams, though, baby.
Yeah.
And look at you now, you know? Again, for anybody just, you know, we're doing the Sonicast, but we're talking about the movie Searching that is going to be out August 24th. So make sure you go out to support that. It's going to be in select cities, you said?
Yeah, it's in L.A., New York, San Francisco, and San Jose, which is where the story takes place, August 24th, and then everywhere August 31st.
I mean, not that, you know, the Bay hasn't been highlighted in
Not the South Bay.
hundreds. Well, no, but I'm saying, like, for so many films this year to come out that are so, like, deep films and then they're
Yeah, true.
based
This
here
year's a good-
is
yeah.
so beautiful for the
Yeah.
Bay Area. But,
Sorry to
you know,
bother you,
Caps
blind
will-
spotting. Yep,
Exactly.
yep.
People will highlight the Golden Gate Bridge or you'll see something, the Transamerica Building or whatever, but there's no, like, real Bay Area based film. So that's dope.
Yeah, man. And Aneesh, are you from San Jose? Is
Yeah,
that how-
I grew up here.
Look
That's
at you,
dope.
South Bay boy.
Yeah. And John, I know you went to Berkeley, right?
Yes, I did.
Yeah. So
How'd
I
you
mean,
like that? Was it good? You enjoyed those years, didn't you?
That's literally what I think every time.
All
Yeah.
right.
You were high the whole fucking time.
I had a nice time.
Turn up.
I went to some classes.
Yeah.
Hi.
And then, hold on, I gotta give a shout out too because I have a Bay Area connection.
Okay.
So Aneesh and I met in film school at USC, and then I went on to be an independent film producer. And the first movie I helped produce was Fruitvale Station.
Oh, dope. I just got told that, which is dope, Sev.
Yeah, so
Dope,
I got to
dope.
spend a lot of time up here and got
Working
to
with Ryan Coogler, right?
Well, Ryan Coogler, I
Yeah.
basically spent a lot of time on his couch as we were making that movie. It wasn't a big budget movie, obviously.
Where'd you stay? Were you telling us the other
Oh
night?
man, I can't say the story.
Were you in the deep? Were you in the deep east?
All right, so check this out.
Here it
Thanks,
goes,
John,
see?
for setting this
Let's
up.
get to it.
No,
Come
All
on,
right,
that was
Sam.
like, nah, I can't. Okay, let's talk.
All right, thank you, John
Right.
Cho. So like we're prepping for this film, right? Not a big budget movie, and it was my first time in the Bay ever.
You're talking about Fruitvale Station.
Fruitvale Station.
Yeah.
And it was like a couple nights of me just like sleeping on Ryan's couch and like in his apartment. The poor guy's trying to prep a movie he's directing, and I was like, I should get my own place. And this is before Airbnb. Like there wasn't a lot of like Yelp, so you can whatever.
Right. Yeah.
I go on
Craigslist.
Craigslist.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I don't know much, but I asked Ryan. I'm like, yo, like, is there any good neighborhoods I should probably try and like find a place for? And he just listed off a couple neighborhoods, and he mentioned like Emerson. He's like, "Oh, you love Emerson, right? Is there like a Target or Kmart there?" I vaguely remember. And basically, I looked on Craigslist, and one of the places was like Emerson, and it was like the cheapest like listing on Emerson by far.
Had
You're
you
already
in the
shaking your
hood.
head.
Had you in the
Exactly.
hood.
And then I go at night. I have no idea where I'm at. It's a nice, huge like old Victorian house. Crazy deal. I move in right that night, and Ryan's like, "Yo, like, let me come check out your spot." Like, I'm like, "Oh, cool. I'm in Emerson." He's like, "Cool. Text me the Addy." Text him the address. He navigates there, doesn't respond to my text, and then he knocks on my door and he's like, "Dude, this is not Emerson. You're in West Oakland, bro."
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. But I honestly like loved it. Like I spent several months up here. We had a bunch of people from LA with us, and it kind of became a second home. I don't think I've ever quite connected with the city, and I've done a couple movies since in different neighborhoods and states in America, and like I think I'll always have a lot of love for Oakland.
That's
I
dope.
mean, ain't nothing wrong with West Oakland. As long as you stay in your lane and mind your business, everybody's doing what they need to do, and then you go inside your house and call it a day.
Well, hell, West Oakland is now basically East San Francisco. I mean,
Right?
it's been bought up, all the developments. I mean, it's not the ghost town it once was in
Right.
like 2013, 2014. So, I can certainly understand that. But I think that's really dope, man. All you guys have Bay Area ties, and you were able to kind of bring this whole story, to the Bay Area and base it here in San Jose, man. Like
What I
that's
love about the movie
ill.
too is the casting looks like the Bay Area.
Yeah.
And to see this family that looks like my family and looks like people that live here was part of what I'm proud of about the movie. And I think why partly that it resonates with audiences is they go, "Oh, that I know this family."
Yeah. That sounds really
What are you guys
really
hoping
cool.
for at the end of this when it comes out? Everybody, the Bay Area is going to support, especially San Jose folks. Like,
hope so.
Right.
no, they
That
are
would be
for
awesome.
real. You
Yeah.
got it based here. As soon as that word gets out, they know for sure what's happening. They'll be out there to see it and support. And of course, you're touching a lot of families with the whole missing child thing. We worry about that stuff all the time.
Right.
But what are you hoping for this film?
I mean, this whole like last 2 years has been such a crazy like journey. I mean, like we made this movie in a tiny edit room with 5 people: me, Sev, the 2 editors, Will Merrick and Nick Johnson, and Natalie Kasabian, our producer. And it was like us slaving away at this movie on 2 iMac computers that were constantly crashing, making a movie that really no one outside of the people who worked on it really believed in because it took place on screens. And computers were crashing. We were like losing progress. It took us 2 years to edit this movie. No movie should take us anyone 2 years to make.
Damn.
And like then we apply to a film festival called Sundance, get into that film festival, and then 12 hours after we premiere this little movie that really felt like nobody believed in, we get bought by Sony, and now it's a worldwide release.
Right.
So like everything that is happening as far as like what I hope, it's like so much of it has already happened, which is that people like now know about this movie. You know, like no one knew about this movie ever, and now people do. And I don't know. I hope people go in and kind of now enjoy the movie that we made, which is ultimately like a thriller. It's a twist and turny thriller, and hopefully one that at the end of it you realize like, oh yeah, that all took place on screens. Like, isn't that crazy that they did that? And you know, I think that would be cool. I don't know.
I don't want to give away everything, but I do know that there is a twist that people are going to be like, wait, what?
Yeah,
So,
there's a lot of
pay
twists.
attention.
It's a mystery.
Maybe there isn't.
Maybe
Yeah.
there is.
mystery.
No, there is.
The
kind
twist
of.
is that there maybe isn't a twist. We don't know yet. That's
You
how
decide
deep
as a
this
viewer.
twist goes. Yeah, it's a deep state twist.
Man, so I do want to ask this question though, John. Being this kind of your first role, I feel like in this type of movie, what can we expect from you playing a father, going into this position, kind of almost for most of the audience, their first time seeing you in a very serious role outside of maybe like Star Trek.
Well, I hope they believe me. You know, it was like it was not that difficult for me to access the feelings of fear and worry, being a parent, and you know, it's just like, imagine your daughter's gone missing. Okay, I'm there.
Daily.
Right? I always say that, like, you know, the day I found out my wife was pregnant, I started this new kind of worry, and it has never gone away. You know, like it's worse on some days, and on other days it feels okay. But once you have a kid, that worry muscle is very active.
I used to have these terrible thoughts. Like if she's outside playing, oh my God, she's gonna fall and break her leg. Like you envision it in your head, and you're like, please God, don't let it happen. And then you find out she's fine, and you're like, when is it gonna stop? And it doesn't.
It doesn't
You
stop.
guys, Sev, Aneesh, you guys have kids?
No.
Oh, God.
We have. Yeah, we
Don't.
just have- okay. All right.
Don't for a while. It's problem and issue and gray hair after one after another. It's just out of control. I love you, Nyah.
Go ahead and throw that in there.
After all that, in case
Right on.
one day she listens to this. But damn it, I should have brought some condoms. I'm kidding. I love you. I love you. I'm so kidding.
Greatest love of all.
No, but absolutely. I think what you guys have done is amazing. I think it's next level. You know, I'm proud to be able to sit here and talk to y'all about it. I'm
you.
super excited that you did it in the South Bay. 'Cause
Yes.
who the hell pays attention in San Jose?
Hey, baby.
In movies.
Yeah.
We got one. I'm telling you, I'm a San Jose State alumni,
Yes,
so
you
I
are.
will
Okay.
SJSU baby,
Spartan.
Let's go Spartans,
Spartan
baby.
up,
Spartan.
you
Yeah.
dig? So I will be going down there, walking through San Jose, shouting out, "Go see Searching!"
Yeah, it takes
Go
place
see
here.
Searching!
No, it's literally every location in the movie. Like Oak Ridge Mall is in it. You know, what's it called? The high schools are like Evergreen, Silver Creek.
Okay,
you know, like
cool.
every map that you see is perfectly
Yeah.
matched to San Jose. Like we couldn't get the Sharks, but they're called the Finns. You know, like
Oh, okay,
this is a
okay.
movie,
The
yeah,
Sharks were
about-
hating. Haters.
All right,
Yeah,
y'all
yeah,
tripping.
We
Go
sent
ahead
them
and get
Y'all
that
start
in.
winning, and then
emails,
you
a
wanna
bunch
hate.
of phone calls,
I
and nothing.
I am the biggest San Jose Sharks fan.
Are you really?
Yeah, I'm
Hockey boy.
Yeah, huge hockey boy. Yeah, unfortunately we couldn't get their
Haters.
usage, but maybe next movie. You know,
It's all good. I mean,
After
Aneesh,
you gain some clout.
right.
Or more.
Right, Aneesh, as long as your family watches it and they're like, "I see you holding it down for us, bruh,
Right,
like you
right.
was rapping." That's all that matters, man.
try our best.
Right, love it, love it.
There any final thoughts you want to leave with the fans that to go out there and watch the film or whatever before we get out of here? Once again, Searching is going to be out there August 24th. Obviously, it's going to be in San Francisco. Got to rep the Bay one time, LA, and a couple other spots. So make sure you check for it and go out there and watch it.
I'll say one final thought, which is personal. I don't know if this is what you had in mind, but but
Whatever
all
comes
good.
out of your mouth is
All
what I had in
right,
mind.
all right.
Take us there, John.
So my final thought is this: you know, I've been working for a while, and this is to me is sort of the future of where I want to go. It's the end game to me in terms of like, you know, when I was younger, I used to try and avoid, you know, doing stereotypical Asian parts, and so as a result, I tried to do parts that were originally written white, and the problem with that is, so first I felt awesome about it. But then I started thinking, I go, oh, well, the issue is they're not writing anything for Asians.
Right.
And to me, this role was always written David Kim, and that was really important to me. But his being Korean doesn't have anything to do with the plot or the story. And so to me, the fact that it was the combination of it was written specifically, but it also is not germane to the plot of the story, is where I would like to see the business go and my career go. So this is like it's a very meaningful project for me in that way.
I think you're right, though. I think Hollywood is changing. It has to at this point. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean,
And
look at this room. You know,
right.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you guys are going to pave the way for that. Make it happen. Not that we haven't already had, like with Ryan and everybody else doing
sure.
what they're doing.
It's
Right.
a quantity, though. You know.
Exactly.
That's what changes things.
All right.
Keep the ball rolling, man.
There it
Good
is.
job,
Thank
guys.
you.
All right,
luck.
Searching. Make sure you go check it out. Sonicast, your girl Sonic G. Make sure you check for me, Biz and DC on the radio Monday through Friday, 6 to 10 a.m. right there on KMEL. Download that free iHeartRadio app.
Every day, baby. Go ahead and rock with that.
We'll holla.